Ignoring your spirituality is harmful to your health. In a study by Harold Koenig, I believe in 2012, he did a study between all the papers that were written between 1870 and 2010 on how spirituality affects your health. And he found that people that were more religious or spiritual had better mental health. They adapted more quickly to problems. Being more religious and spiritual impacts your physical health, lowers risk of disease, and influences a response to treatment. So he just found that in all of these studies, there was a significant relationship between religion, spirituality, and better health. So, you've probably heard about quantum physics and how our thoughts become things. And I really believe that if you think you're going to be really ill, if you're a worrier and you are filling your mind with all the things in the news and everything that is telling you that you're going to get really sick and this is a symptom of something terrible, catastrophic, then you take those thoughts on and you internalize them, and therefore your health becomes worse. But if you believe that there is a higher power watching over you, that could be God, it can be the universe, it could be Allah, it could be Buddha, whoever, whatever you believe, you could believe it's a collective energy, whatever it is. If you believe that that higher power is there watching over you, watching out for your greatest good, then you are more likely to be able to heal your body. You have hope, you have faith, you can push aside those fears and just feel so much more confident and just better about, your future. So, what gets in the way of people that are trying to heal is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of what could happen to you. And, if we turn to Dr. Google and we start Googling symptoms and reading those terrible things that you see there, it makes your fear worse. So the second thing that causes us to turn away from our spirituality is not taking autonomy for your own health. So like you are just, let's say, going to your family practitioner, listening to whatever they say and taking whatever they prescribe without questioning or researching for yourself. Now, this happened to me in several ways in the past because I had total confidence in the doctors and what they said. And there were several things that I regretted about that. So one example, I wouldn't say I regretted it, but I was having lots of digestive issues. I'd had them all my life. And my mother got an autoimmune condition and she ended up passing away. And I've told that story in several of my other videos. But anyways, I thought maybe our family just has a sensitivity to gluten, or maybe we have celiac and we just didn't know, it's undiagnosed. So I went to be tested and the doctor said, no, you do not have celiac. You need 2 of the markers, whatever they were testing, but you only have 1. And I thought, well, gosh, maybe that does mean at least I have a sensitivity. So I decided I'm just gonna take gluten out myself. And within a week, my digestive problems started to feel so much better. I had so much less bloating and just lots of all my digestive issues were going away. And I continued to do it. I lost weight. I lost a lot of inflammation. I just started feeling so much better. And I still had some healing to do, so that wasn't the only answer, but I'm still gluten-free. It's been 10 years, I believe. And so anyways, that was just me taking autonomy for my own health. And then some other things happened along the way. My son was diagnosed with a benign brain tumor. Thank God it was benign, but at the time we didn't know. We just knew there was a mass on his brain and that he needed surgery. And so we were told that there was a surgeon. He would do the surgery the next day. My son was in intense pain. He was having, you know, terrible migraines. They gave him morphine for the migraines because it was so bad. So we just kind of panicked and we're like, okay, you know, this could be dangerous. We're gonna do the surgery. Did it with that surgeon. Even though my gut was telling me to go to one of the other hospitals in our city that was known for this type of thing. You know, we have a world-renowned medical system in our city. I live in Houston, Texas. We have the medical center with MD Anderson and some other amazing hospitals, but I just let that fear take over, and we went to a hospital that was in our area, that was in the suburbs. And so what happened was he had the surgery. It was benign. He was sent to the ICU and he was in terrible pain for 5 days. And I knew something wasn't quite right, and I just kept pushing and pushing and talking to the doctors and saying, something's not right, something's not right. He's still in pain. He shouldn't be in this much pain. And one of the neurologists, he wasn't the surgeon, but he was a neurologist, said, trust your gut, push them to do another MRI. And so that's what we did. And come to find out, there was still over half of the tumor left. The surgeon didn't even get it all. And so at that moment, they wanted to do surgery again the next morning. And I just said, no, forget that. This time I was gonna listen to my gut. So we, my ex-husband's father had a friend that was a doctor in one of the hospitals in town, and he referred us to an amazing neurosurgeon. And we went to him, and he said he would wait to do the surgery, because I was thinking the same thing. Like, if we open his brain up again, he's susceptible to staph infection or something else, you know, terrible. And so this doctor believed the same, and he said, let's let him heal. He can graduate from high school. He can go to his prom, and we'll come back and do the surgery again at the end of the month. This was actually in May. We were gonna wait, like, I think it was about 2 weeks, and we'll do the surgery again. So we go in, he did the surgery. He did an amazing job. He got rid of every last bit of the tumor. He used some machine that helped him map it out, and then he did 12 biopsies to make sure that he got every last bit. He sent it over to MD Anderson, which is the cancer hospital. He sent it to the labs there to make sure, you know, it was benign, and he got every last bit of it. My son was better in 2 days, like ready to go home better. And I asked the neurosurgeon, what is the difference? Because the last time he had surgery, he was in horrible pain for a week. And he said that he had cauterized every blood vessel, and that bleeding was what was causing the pain the first time. So I was so thankful. I was so thankful I listened to my gut and didn't go back to that other neurosurgeon, because I heard a story from a friend that I happened to discuss this with, that her father had had surgery with the same neurosurgeon and ended up with an infection in his brain, and he was still in the hospital. It was like 2 months later. So thankfully, I listened to my gut. I, did my research. And the third thing is, the third thing that gets in the way of practicing your spirituality is not trusting or having faith. And so I needed to listen to my gut, trust that I was being guided by my higher power, and trust that everything was going to be okay if I listened to that gut instinct. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying not to visit with doctors or take their advice. I'm just saying that you have to discern for yourself the right protocol for you. So that protocol may be taking the advice of the doctor, or it could be something different. It could be seeking out another healer, another modality. So you've got to do your research, have faith in your higher power, trust your intuition. So I pretty much said that. Trust in yourself, do your own research, listen to your intuition, have faith in your higher power. Now, how to cultivate that faith is, number one, you have to find time to devote to your spirituality every day. So that could be with reading, it could be with walks in nature, it could be communing with others, creating a practice, creating a ritual that's going to help you focus on your spirituality daily. So what I do is, that's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, is I devote time to my spirituality by meditating. I read certain devotionals every day, and I also do some journaling. So I do that before I allow myself to do anything else, such as looking at the news or looking at my phone or anything like that. So I'm making it a priority. And it wasn't always that way. Like, I grew up in a past where I kind of had some religious trauma. So I'm still a believer. I believe in God. But I had some trauma as far as the actual religion, where you go to church and you have certain rules and things that you have to abide by. I had some fear pushed into me when I was a kid, and so I never really felt completely comfortable there, even though I'm still a believer. And so I had to create my own practice. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to church and be part of a religion if that's what makes you happy and makes you feel peace and comfort. But I just haven't found that for myself. And I found that creating my own practice with my own rituals has really been the difference for me. It's brought me so much more peace. So I guess that's it for today. So I wanted to share, the sunlight's getting weird, and here I have some blinds up, and there's a space in between like the top of the shutters and my blinds, and so my light gets really weird at this time of morning because that comes right through on me. So anyways, I love using essential oils. They are natural and pure, and I've done a lot of research on the type of essential oils that I want to use, and so I've chosen doTERRA as my favorite brand because I trust the owners. Talking about faith and research, they're a very faithful group. We don't have the same religious beliefs, but I do think that they're amazing people. I do think that they're faithful people, and I do think that they're looking out for the greatest good of others. And so that's why I've chosen them as my company of choice. I've been amazed by all the products always. I've been with them for 6 years, I believe now. And so I just have faith that they are using pure essential oils, and I love their mission. They work with people all over the world, and they supply jobs for women all over the world, like in some of the worst areas that women struggle to make a living. They have given them jobs and they've helped them create a living. So I love that part too. But today I really use essential oils for everything. I use it for health benefits. I use them for cleaning my house. I use them for emotional healing. And so that's mostly what I talk about on here, is the emotional benefits of essential oils. And I love this book, Essential Emotions. It's you can find it on Amazon or oillife.com. And today we're going to be talking about sandalwood. This is Hawaiian sandalwood, and I want to see if there's a difference here. Let me look real quick, because I believe there's 2 types of sandalwood. Okay, that's all there is. It says Hawaiian, it just says sandalwood. So I picked this one because I looked in the back of the book and it talks about spirituality and faith, and sandalwood was one of the suggested oils for that. There are several, but that's one of the ones that I love. It's kind of a sweet, woodsy scent, and it helps with negative emotions. So like when you're feeling disconnected from God or spiritual self, it helps with that emptiness, that overthinking, and feeling materialistic. It helps you feel humble, spiritual devotion, spiritual clarity, still, surrender, and connected to your higher consciousness. And then in the back of the book, if you look at, you can look up different emotions that you want to feel. And it talks about faith. And here it gives the essential oils that are good for faith. And it says sandalwood, immortelle, which is a blend from doTERRA, hope, cheer, those are also blends, and turmeric. So it says, what experience is causing me to question my belief? What will it take for me to see the truth of things? And then there is a, trying to see what that little symbol means. On the bottom it says, look deeper, declare, and visualize. So the declare section says, I reject all falsehood. I now believe in myself and the abundant good surrounding me. It is now safe for me to listen to my inner voice of truth. And then to visualize, it says, see light dispel darkness from around your body. Invite this light to dispel all false thinking and lift your mind to clarity. So that's something good to pray on or meditate on, is just surrounding yourself with light, inviting the light to dispel all false thinking and lift your mind to clarity. So I'll leave you there, and my name is Lori. I'm a peaceful coach. If you want to learn more about bringing peace into your life, getting rid of some emotional trauma, and heal from the inside out, follow me, like for more, and I will see you next week.